Vayne's preferred rune page is Press the Attack, Triumph, Legend Alacrity and Coup de Grace with Celerity and Gathering Storm secondary. If the enemy are playing a heavy poke bot lane, you take Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter secondary for an easier lane phase. Your shards are always Attack Speed and Adaptive Force with either Armor or Magic Resist depending on your lane opponents. Your skill order is rather straightforward with Q level 1 but maxing W by level 9, followed by Q reaching level 13 and putting a point into your ultimate whenever you can. Your E is designed to function at one skill point, so you max it last. Start the game by purchasing Doran's Blade and one health potion, except for when you need to play against a poke lane. In addition to the aforementioned rune changes, you also need to take Doran's Shield instead of Doran's Blade in this case. Vayne wins by eventually reaching her godlike late game, so merely surviving the early game is your highest priority. Your first two items are always Berserker's Greaves and Blade of the Ruined King. Vayne scales quite hard with movement speed and attack speed, so rushing Berserkers is optimal if you can get away with it. Against those ever so scary poke lanes, however, it can be necessary to delay boots and rush Vampiric Scepter for better sustain. After finishing Blade of the Ruined King, you buy Ginzo's Rageblade and Phantom Dancer to complete your core build. All these items are mandatory as they greatly improve your ability to kite while providing enough damage to duel anyone thanks to Vayne's W. Especially with a fully stacked Rageblade, Vayne can tear down the enemy frontline faster and more reliably than any other champion. Your two remaining item slots can be filled with any combination of Death's Dance, Guardian Angel, Mercurial Scimitar and Infinity Edge. In most games, Death's Dance and Infinity Edge make the most sense as the former is quite frankly one of the best ADC late game items in the game and the latter gives you the biggest possible damage increase. Scimitar and GA are merely tech options you can use against full AP or full AD teams respectively, or if you need one of the item's unique effects. As you see, runes and items are the easy part about Vayne, as they come almost as natural as the decision to press the like and the subscribe button. The more difficult aspect of the champion is to learn how to not feed. As I've mentioned, you need to be extra careful during the lane phase, as Vayne is most vulnerable during the first 15 minutes of every game. You don't need to win your lane when you play Vayne, you simply need to not lose your lane instead. Falling behind a little bit in CS is natural for this champion when pressured by one of the many AD carries that are early game bullies. But you need not to worry as long as you can stay even with your enemy in terms of XP and champion levels. You play passively as long as you need to, but as soon as mid-game team fighting starts, you can pop off and demonstrate your refined mechanics. In addition to the regular ADC stuff like kiting and positioning, there are some Vayne-specific techniques you need to master in order to maximize her elusive outplay potential. The first aspect of Vayne's kit you need to understand thoroughly is her E. Things like getting a feeling for its damage output and knockback to enable the stun will come naturally when you play the champion often, but you should definitely use the practice tool to master the infamous Condemn Flash combo. Condemn's cast time is only a fraction of a second, but if you flash during that time, the bolt will fire from your new position, allowing you to surprise stun the enemy into a nearby wall, giving them little to no time to react. Essentially, Vayne's E can be animation cancelled by flash, which makes it much faster. Practice this regularly so you have it down in your muscle memory. Additionally, you can override enemy movement commands with your E if you anticipate them and time your spell appropriately. For instance, if an enemy winds up their auto-attack animation to jump over a wall with a blast cone, you can use E against them to override the blast cone jump with Condemn Knockback, which denies their jump and stuns them instead. This works against a plethora of enemy spells, for example Leona's E or Rengar's ultimate. The timing for this is quite simple if you anticipate what the enemy might be up to and hold on to your Condemn to use it reactively. If you know any more Condemn interactions, feel free to share them in the comments. The second aspect of Vayne's kit you need to fully utilize is her R+Q Stealth Tumble. This is essentially your bread and butter team fighting outplay tool, and the skill required to use it is rather decision making and not so much of mechanical nature. You need to read situations quickly enough to decide if it's better to instantly pop out of stealth again to resume auto-attacking, or if it's more beneficial to use the full second of invisibility in order to reposition. The fact that Vayne enters stealth instantly as you press Q adds another layer of outplay potential, as you can use this to cancel enemy spells that require them to have vision. For example, if you see Mordekaiser using his ultimate against you while Final Hour is active, all you need to do is press Q during Mordekaiser's cast animation. Mordekaiser loses vision of you as you pop into stealth, which means his ultimate gets interrupted and is put on cooldown without truly going off. As you see, a lot of Vayne tech skill is highly matchup dependent and mechanically demanding, which makes this champion so strong in the hands of a one-trick. If you enjoy champions that reward you for your mechanics and game knowledge, you can also check out my Kai'Sa guide, which should be on your screen right now.